Greetings, everybody. We're here today with our special guest, Hugo Vaz of Coreflux, the CEO of Coreflux, a new startup that got funded from Portugal. Welcome, Hugo.
Hi, hi. Thank you, Lucian, for having me here.
Yeah, so we caught up ahead of the Hannover Messe, and I know Hugo Coreflux will be there this year in Hall 14, Stand L66. For someone that has never heard of Coreflux, what does Coreflux do, and what problem does it solve on a factory floor?
Yeah, actually, it's a good question. Most of the factories, at least this is the perspective we have internally, they are sitting on a gold mine. Data is everywhere, the PLCs are there, the systems are there, and they kind of are able to talk with each other. But in the end, nobody is listening most of the times, let's say. So from a dashboard to another system and to connect the machines, uh, Coreflux sits on the middle. So what we are doing, we are translating, we are unifying that into one language, into one single source of truth. So it becomes the system where you can use your AI system, your AI platform, you can integrate your dashboards. So it kind of takes the middleware maze out of the way, instead of having something that at least takes a quarter to define on a company, we're able to make it in a week and in a couple of days. So that's what we bring into play for the manufacturing sector. And not only that, but for other sectors as well. That's what Coreflux is all about.
Thank you for that overview. Now, as you well noted, most of the manufacturing is several tools to get the data from one machine into the dashboard. It sounds like you're unifying, you leverage one of them. How does that work? Give us a little bit of peek under the hood.
So under the hood, I like to go a little bit all the time in a very, to provide some examples, let's say. So imagine this Coreflux as a central nervous system. So everything needs to be connected to it. So we kind of created a way that our neurons, let's say, are able to work. We call it the language of things. A little bit like Oracle was doing in the past for SQL, we created this domain specific language. It's something that runs on the broker. It's something that we are actually defining on the MQTT sector as a new thing. So it doesn't follow the standard. So we follow the MQTT standard where you're able to use MQTT as a normal IoT protocol. Of course, in a more technical depth, I will go a little further, but for the audience to understand, MQTT is one of the main protocols that is used in terms of IoT. And what we are bringing into play is this language that is able to integrate with MQTT and kind of query and provide actions and models, and what we call routes. And routes are connections to other systems. So it becomes something more than an API layer. It's something that you write your own logic and it becomes your IoT system. So the broker handles everything. And the lot is the thing that stitches together and connects all into one system. So it becomes your central nervous system of your organization. If you have to connect to the dashboards, if you have to connect to something like Enterprise Resource Planner, you're able to create an action that translates information from one place and provides it to the other. So that's the overall concept that we are creating.
Thank you for that, Hugo. Now, it's a good segue into the theme of the Hannover Messe, which is physical AI, AI that interacts with the physical world. What are you showing or demoing in your stand that connects to that?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. So physical AI, okay, it's let's say it's a new concept, but in sense for us, it's a way to deal with automation in a different level. let's say, an intelligent automation. So, and for us, automation is something that's well known internally on the company. Since we have this broker that is capable of connecting within systems, it was very easy for us to see that we needed to bring a new type of intelligence on top of that. And a way to orchestrate the systems that we were developing and touch base with the machines, because we were able to connect to the machines. We could integrate the machine, but we needed the integrator in the middle to configure and provide the proper mapping that this kind of variable that's sitting on the machine is our counting system. This variable here, it's an alarm. When we bring an AI agent within, and let's say a kind of cursor, kind of lovable into this Lovable, I don't know if you know, it's another company, mostly on the generation of applications, but very focusing on the marketing area. So this kind of new tools are popping. For us, it was very clear that we needed to go into that direction. So we added that layer. And what it was not a physical layer, so to say, but since we were connected to the physical machines, as you can see on our back, we have PLCs. It was very easy to put the machine, the AI in this case, creating this kind of actions and logics that not only was fetching data, but was transforming data from other systems into really changing data on the device. So it really interacts with the machine. It can create new type of things, like, for instance, usually an alarm on a machine is something that is already defined. The integrator looks at the signal that creates the alarm and defines a text that needs to be written. In this case, we can go a little further. We can define that the text can create something new out of the documentation, and probably instead of providing an alarm saying this is happening and this is wrong, it can tell you that this is the solution for what is happening right now. Please change this. So we are able to open this new world where we can readapt the physical world with Coreflux. And the agent itself, it's what we have inside an MCP server, our own agent inside the broker, is able to activate this kind of solutions. And actually, it's not a simulation. In fact, it's able to bring a system into play. And what we are showing there, it's not that concept, it's the real thing, let's say.
Got it. Thanks for the insights. Now, if a plant manager or an automation manager, OT engineer, is walking the show floor on hole 20, has 20 minutes to spend, hole 14, why should they spend it there in the Stand L66 where Coreflux is?
Okay, so not going into details of the demo, I really don't want to reveal, but what they will see, it's a system that it's not only able to interact with the current data that is sitting on top of your systems, and I'm not only talking about machines, I'm talking as well as the historian that you have, so the database that you have. Also, the manufacturing execution system that you have, if you are able to connect to Coreflux, you will use that as a way to fetch more data. So they were able to see a system that is able to morph, something that is able to evolve by changing every day. You are able to build. So it's something that, because tendency, when you're building an app, you are adding features. It's very common for product managers and POs. Sorry about this. You asked me for 20 minutes what they will see, but I need to go a little further on
Sure.
this. But usually when you are developing an application, Um, Tendency, the product owner, he kind of controls the scope, and the programmers are unable to go a little further. They have to do it in a controlled way because you need to check the costs that you have internally in terms of the team, the effort, and so on. In this case, we are bringing something that a CEO or a COO is able to ask for new functionalities. So not only is looking at the system and requesting a new integration or a new dashboard, is able also to, I want to cross-check this data with this data every day. And
Mhm.
please provide me this as a new report. So this is the kind of things that you will be able to create. And this opens a different world of making software because we have a saying in Portugal, it's not that good to, if you're having dinner or something, it's not polite to eat directly from the place where the food is, we call it tacho, but you cannot see it from the pan. But in this case, the CEO or the COO will eat directly by the pan because he's able to ask. There is no one else there that will need to require to create that functionality. We are able to come from the data to the feature just by him requesting what he needs or what he requires. And I think they will see that, and that opens up a world of possibilities. It's actually a new thing. It's something that's actually for us, it's exciting to see. And for the customers, it's frankly new. The thing about the market itself is that we continue to have the same struggle on the shop floor, which is the integration process. And this actually helps out on the integration process because you know the machines. You are able to say, I have this PLC on the plan. How can I connect this? And he goes a little further. He actually defines you the route, what we call the route, and connects the device if in terms of infrastructure you already have it. So that's also something new and different that we are able to see. For the engineers, let's say for the developers, it's also something that they can start thinking in a more strategic way and not focus a lot on the functionality of how to develop. They can now think more a little, and they should think about more why and not how, because actually the why is what the agent is the why, not the how, is what the agent is trying to do. The CEOs and CEOs and the C levels or anyone that requires something from the broker or is able to go, because of course it's not a black box. He needs rules, but I don't want to go into that dive. But the idea there is to open that possibility that anyone is able to morph the system and readapt it, and it becomes an interaction that creates an iteration of the system itself, and the system grows. So today I want to have my production orders being controlled. Okay, now I have it. Then the next day I want to control if I'm doing if I'm processing all the orders that I set it up, send me an alarm if I'm not. Then you can start your traceability system by creating integrations to connect your scanners, connect your cameras. So you're able to build it on top of it. And that's new because usually for digital transformation, the project is a wider scope. It's complex. it was complex, and now it's becoming a little mind-blowing because this type of integrations are becoming easier, and that's what we are bringing into play.
Hugo, thank you so much for sharing the insights. And if you're in the audience and have questions, feel free to post them, and we'll get them to address to get them addressed by somebody on Hugo's team, or stop in Hall 14, Stand L66, to get a demo. But exciting times ahead. Sounds like a lot of the lines are blurring on the traditional Purdue model, empowering multiple persona from the C level, C-suite, to the automation engineer to get the right outcomes from the manufacturing process. So looking forward to learn more in the demo there.
Yeah. Yep. I also just wanted to note that sorry for not revealing a lot of what is on the demo, but that's a way also to invite people to actually go there and see it. But yeah, it's something that actually it's our new version. It's gonna be awesome.